Hello, hello. I am your host, Rashad Washington, and this is Kingdom Comics YouTube channel. And right now, who I have with me, we have Brian Bradley, the creator of Kingdom Comics. How you doing, Brian?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good, pretty good. You know, it's snowing outside, got snow and pandemic, so we all really cooped up in the house.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so let's just go ahead and get right into it, man. So tell us a little bit about your role with Kingdom Comics.
Okay, sure. I am the publisher of Kingdom Comics. We began publishing back in 2003, and in that time, we've published maybe over 60 different comic books. I'm also a contributing writer and contributing artist to some of the books we publish. I'm the writer-artist of the Anointed 7 series, and yeah, so I'm just kind of have my hands in different things, but I'm not the only one. You know, there are other writers and artists and other people who help out.
Okay. Awesome. That sounds good. So, what inspired you to start Kingdom Comics? You know, were you a big fan growing up on comic books and superheroes? You know, so tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I grew up reading comic books. I was really a big Marvel fan, more Marvel than DC. No offense to DC fans, but yeah, I mean, I love the X-Men growing up. I used to actually draw a little bit, try to do some comic books on my own. But yeah, heavily influenced by the comic book culture as a kid into adolescence. So that has definitely influenced me and what I do. So yeah, just take it and flow from there.
Awesome, man. Yeah. Growing up for me, I've read comic books like once every blue moon, but my mom, she was big on a little bit of comics, but growing up, I was always big on Batman and Superman from DC. And then when it came to Marvel, it was just like Spider-Man, X-Men, Incredible Hulk, Blade, Punisher. I mean, the list goes on with them. So yeah, like you said, no disrespect to DC. Some good characters, but my favorite characters from DC will be Batman and Superman. But yeah, so let me ask you. So let's see. So we got you here because you have an upcoming issue coming out. So you want to talk about a little bit about that? So what's this issue? Let's see.
Of course. Bam, there it is. That is the Anointed 7 issue 35. It's the issue that's actually coming out on the 15th of this month, which I believe is tomorrow. So I actually have a copy in my hand. These will be going out to our subscribers here this weekend, possibly Monday, depending on the snow. But yeah, this is it. This is the issue. This is the latest issue that Kingdom Comics has published. So
Awesome.
excited about this. I think it's the best one we've done.
Awesome. So this is the Anointed 7 issue number 35, correct?
Yep.
Awesome. So now your comics, we have, of course, you have DC, you have Marvel, those like the top two. I'm sure there's other comics out there. And what separates you guys from everybody else? You know, what's the difference between your comics, Kingdom Comics, between Marvel, DC, and everyone else?
Well, the largest difference is the fact that these are Christian comic books. I tell people they're not Bible stories. They are comic books with original characters, original storylines that we write. And yeah, that kind of separates us from probably 95% of independent publishers. There are other Christian comic book publishers, but we are very, 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 very rare. So that's one thing. Another thing that kind of separates us from maybe 99% of independents is the fact that we publish every month. So we have 4 different titles that we publish: The Anointed 7, Bridge, Kingdom Comics Presents, and Quiver. But we don't publish all 4 of them a month. We'll alternate. So this month is The Anointed 7. Next month will probably be Quiver, then Bridge, then Kingdom Comics Presents, and then it repeats itself. But it's very rare to have a publisher independent who publishes monthly, but we do.
So what made you take the approach to the Christian aspect of it?
Well, when I became born again in my early 20s, I was already interested in comic books. I was already, I had experimented being an artist previous years, and it just seemed like a natural progression to begin doing comic books to give glory to the Lord. And that's really what started Kingdom Comics. It's like, you know what, I'm gonna start doing what I love to do, the passion that I have for these comic books. I'm going to start doing it. But I'm going to do it for the Lord.
Nice, nice. One of my favorites so far was The Bridge. And I thought it was a great, nice twist at the end. I don't want to give too much details because I want people, to get into it and read more of these comic books. And I think what you're doing is pretty amazing, man. And I really appreciate, what you're doing, and as far as like taking a different approach and separating your comics, your stories, your heroes, your characters from everybody else. And I think it's very, very unique. And one more question. So now Roel, hopefully I'm not trying to butcher this name. So Roel Palmeria.
Close enough, I guess.
Okay, close enough. So how do you know him?
Through Upwork, which is a freelance site where you can go and hire freelancers to do different artwork for you. So a few years ago, maybe about 5 years ago, I hired him to do a little bit of work for us, and really enjoyed his art. Really enjoyed what he could do. And through the past 5 or so years, he's done different projects for us. And he did the second part. I drew the first part of this, but then he drew the second part. So he's a regular artist for us. He's from the Philippines, and he does really, really good work for us. So we have other artists from around the world as well that we can get into in later episodes. We can kind of talk about them a little bit too.
Awesome. Hey, that sounds great, man. So are you guys going to try to be like the MCU and the DC universe one of these days? Have your own cinematic universe? Is that the plan in the future?
That's a possibility. We'll see how things go. It will be very interesting to see what the Anointed Seven will look like in live action. But hey, if it happens, it happens. I have no problem with that.
But hey, man, it's a pleasure to be here as a host for your YouTube channel for the Kingdom Comics, not to be confused with Kingdom Hearts. Mickey Mouse. None of that over here.
Different from that, definitely.
This is Kingdom Comics. This is the YouTube channel. And Brian, it's a pleasure for you to be here, having me on here with you as the host for your YouTube channel, for your Kingdom Comics company. I really do appreciate it. And it's a pleasure talking to you, and very exciting for what you guys got coming up next.
Thank you for doing this. And it's I see nothing but optimistic things ahead. So let's go. Let's roll.
So Anointed 7, issue 35, released in February, was it 15th, correct?
Yeah, which I think it's tomorrow will be the official release for it.
Official release. So Valentine's Day will be the official release for it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, awesome. And where can we get these comic books again?
There's going to be a link below the video, which will give the different places where you can download it, where you can purchase it. So yeah, it'll be included at the bottom of this video.
Awesome. So download that, guys. You see the bottom of the video, download it, and then you'll get that new upcoming issue for the Anointed 7, issue 35. Brian Bradley, everybody, it's a pleasure. Thank you. And you have a blessed, safe. Please do not go out in that that snow. Is so much snow. Just be careful. Try to stay in as much as possible.
Absolutely. All
right, Brian, you have a good one, man. You take it easy, okay?
Yep, you too. Thanks a lot, Rashad. Appreciate it.
Remember, the kingdom is here. The kingdom
Amen. Is here. That's it.
All right, you have a good one, okay? Yeah. Okay, guys, this is Kingdom Comics YouTube channel. Right now, we have Clint Johnson. Clint Johnson, how you doing, sir?
Man, look, I am blessed and highly favored, kicking and screaming. I'm on the other side of the dirt. I ain't yet hit the sky yet, so I'm real good.
Now, that's great to hear, Clint. Now, are you in Los Angeles right now?
I am based in Los Angeles, California, as we speak right now. You might even hear a couple of airplanes going by me because I'm really not too far from LAX. So if you hear this real loud noise, besides the youngsters doing donuts out in the street, I'm in LA.
Hey, I'd rather hear airplanes and see a little bit of sun right now, because right here where we at right now, we have nothing but snow and 12 degrees weather.
See, you know.
So I envy you, sir.
Okay.
So Clint, so what do you do for a living, man? Tell me about yourself, man. So what do you do for a living?
Man, I hide behind buildings and I jump off rooftops and
Oh man, you're a regular daredevil, man. Shoot.
no, no. I have the mental condition where I live as a full-time creative. So
Okay.
I write, I draw, I do graphics, I do poetry.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, book covers, logo designs, my own stuff. You know, the Faith Walker and Christian Action Heroes, and that this is what we do. So day in and day out, you know, uh, keeping hours that everybody says, man, you need to get some sleep. I mean, all of that. So, uh, but that's the life right now. Of course, I'm a book publisher. I forget that part because there's so many other things going on.
Yeah.
But basically, Rashad, your friend Clint's a creative. That's what we do.
Okay, awesome. So you said Christian Action Heroes, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, is that your own thing? Did you come up with that? Is that your publishing
That's our
book?
yeah. So the full name is Christian Action Hero Universe, and we use the
Okay.
acronym of KAHU. Uh,
KAHU.
KAHU.
Nice.
And we
Nice.
were so yeah, this is what the Lord gave me. Man, I think the KAHU came into place maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Our lead character, Faith Walker, he's been running around literally since 1990. So he made 30 years last year. So we had a COVID kind of jacked up the celebration plans, but the character
Yeah.
made 30. So now so our lead character is 31 years old, and
Okay.
Christian Action Hero Universe is I think going on 5 years this year. Yeah, about 5 years.
5 years. Awesome. So what I guess what inspired you? Like, were you big as because I asked Brian the same question. So were you big growing up on superheroes and comic books and everything? Or
Man,
did you like did it just come at you out of nowhere, just like, hmm, this is a lot interesting. Maybe I just like go and check this out a little bit more.
well,
Or were you just like
yeah.
towards
Okay, so mine is interesting, man. I've always liked artwork, one way or another, right?
oh,
There's a scenario where I would have a blank sheet of paper and some crayons, and I'm sitting up trying to make my own comic books and characters, right?
mhm.
I think the first time I got exposed to comic books, I was maybe 7 or 8 years old, uh, walking down the street, as they say, and somebody
Yeah.
threw away a box of comics.
Yeah.
Box. And I
A
was like,
box of
whoa,
comics.
a box of comics. I mean, yo, what is this? So it was like some Archie and some Sergeant Rock and, a couple of DC titles. Um,
Yeah.
I became a Batman fan, probably cartoons before comics, but I've
Mhm.
always loved the art form. I've always loved and since I could draw, that probably inspired me to draw even more.
Yeah.
The gifts really come from my mom and dad. My father was an artist, and my
Nice.
mom has like that whole interior designer fashion sense about her. So I kind of got it both ways from them, and it just tends to manifest. I just chose to run with it. Um, but yeah, so I saw a box of comic books. It hit a young, fertile imagination, and basically been hooked ever since. Yeah.
Nice. So pretty much everything like DC, Marvel, these comic books, these superheroes kind of influence you to come up with your own thing.
Sure. So I've always been a big DC fan. Back in the day,
Yeah.
I dig Marvel now. Everybody does. You see what they're doing. It's great storytelling, interesting characters. I was into your Batman and your Superman and the Flash, and from a writer's perspective, those characters were more iconic. Marvel has the ability to put skin on their characters a whole lot better, so the characters actually become more relatable.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Faith Walker lead character happened when I was literally sitting in service. Here we go, 30 years ago. I was 27 because I'm on the tail end of 57 right now, so it's 30 years ago. And
oh man, I was 32, man.
you know what I mean? So I was at a church called First Apostolic Church of Inglewood, also known as World One for Christ Ministries. Bishop Wayne S. Davis, God rest his soul, who's gone home to be with the Lord. He was the pastor at the time. And man, he was preaching one of them fired up, get up out your seat. You just know you saw angels floating in the room kind of sermons. You just knew you saw the light beaming through the stained glass windows and folks running around. I don't know if you've been to one of them kind of churches. Everybody's like, ah, you know, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, man, the spirit was high, you know?
Yeah.
And it was a solid word. It wasn't like one forsaking the other. This was a combination. The Lord was moving up in there. And I'm sitting there with a Batman imagination, right? And so the pastor's rocking his robe and all of that. And I'm like, man, how come superheroes don't quote scriptures? And that thought hit me.
Okay.
And next thing I know, you're supposed to be taking notes when the preacher's preaching, chapter, verse. Yeah, man, I'm an artist with a pencil. So I started drawing.
Just be like, hey, what you say? Hold on, let me just write that down.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
That part. Okay, Lord. Okay. Oh, so I wish I was kidding, man, but that was pretty much the birth of the idea and the actual setting. I might be a little dramatic, but that's how I remember it.
Yeah.
And then I had a publisher that I used to do some work for when I was about 19. Her name was Annie Pierce. I shouldn't say was. Annie's still with us. She was putting out a publication called the Los Angeles Community Circle Clipper, based in the LA area, over in the Leimert Park, which is gentrification has hit, but it will still be considered a black mecca for African Americans in the LA area. So I had met Eddie when I was like 19. I did some work for her. I took her the idea, and next thing I know, my character was in print in her black and white tabloid every 2 weeks. So Faith Walker hit the pavement, and man, I was like, oh my God! So that's the origin. And yes, I was inspired by a combination of comic books and definitely the preach word. Definitely that.
Awesome. So how did you and Brian hook up? How did you guys meet?
Well, Brian and I have not physically met yet, and the internet is a wonderful tool. Tool. So he and I both frequent the I'll say the Christian comic book circuit or circles. I've been with a group called the Christian Comics Art Society. I'll say since around '93. And that was under the leadership of brothers like Pastor Ralph Miley, Don Ensign, who's the founder. He went home to be with the Lord a few years back, and Eric Jensen. A lot of great cats from back in the day. Eventually, we went online because we used to meet right here in Southern California, and from that, we found more and more and more comic book creators who were into Christian content. And I would see Brian's work, the Kingdom Comics and the Anointed Seven. I'm like, oh, okay, this brother's doing some things. And we would touch base every now and then he contacted me recently for the cover of the Anointed Seven. I believe the 7th issue of Anointed Seven from Kingdom Comics.
Yes.
And that's how he and I actually did some work together. He gave me the idea. Hey, Clint, I want the villain on the cover, arms stretched out, looking angry. And I said, okay, cool. And he sent me some samples of Zonix, I believe. And he probably thought, man, this brother ain't gonna get it done, because I didn't get back with him immediately. I was like, okay. It seems that way. But I got it knocked out, and he enjoyed it. He liked it. So It's on the cover, and that's pretty much how we connected up. And he said, "Hey man, do you want to be on the YouTube channel?" I'm like, "Oh, sure, fine. Let's do it." You know.
Yeah, I think that's pretty awesome what you did, and how he brought you in, they brought me in, so it's pretty clever, and I think it's pretty awesome what he's doing, or trying to do with the YouTube channel. So it's pretty cool. So, Clint, man, so what's next, man? What do you have in store?
Okay, well, I'm looking at all these what we're going to call them digital streaming platforms. They're
Yeah.
really popular and they popping up everywhere. So I'm approaching my quote unquote franchise, because that's what it's become, and looking at what we can really do. I've had the pleasure of having the characters on live stage, so
Yeah.
that's been amazing. We were doing that before the pandemic hit a few years back, trying to transition. So in the same time, we also had an animated short created. So
Oh, really?
I'm torn between. I kind of know which way I'm going though. Between the animation, which is the heart, because to me visually, that's closer to the comic books, and then it acts as a springboard to get into other aspects. So I'm actually in production, figuring the storyboards out and all that good stuff. So that's what we're doing next. That's the long game.
Okay.
The immediate game, we're working on the what I call Faith Walker Genesis.
Yeah.
Man, and I've been working on this book forever. So it's the origin of my character. You would think in 30 years I would tell you how he became. I told a part of it back in '98, how he got hooked up with this organization called Word Technologies, but I never took it from him being a kid and his personal motivation and his connection with God solidifying his abilities. So that's the story I'm telling now. So it's a different take on the character. It's almost a reboot, because now I'm
Mhm.
involving his parents, his hometown, all that good stuff that kind of put some meat on the characters. Got another project going. Good friend of mine, Ciola. She does a lot of writing up in the Bay Area out here, and she's also an evangelist, teacher, preacher, minister, phenomenal young woman. I approached her with the concept of my female characters.
Mhm.
Lady Virtuous is our lead character. I don't want to write it. I don't want to write this groundbreaking origin, let's bring all the girls in story. I just believe a woman who has a relationship with the Lord and who has the talent to bring it will do a much better job. I give a lot of input on the plot, but it's her word for word and what the scenes are. I'm hands off. I said, girl, you got this. So she's busy working on some projects. So we're connecting. And those are the things that are on the horizon right now for KAHU, aka the Christian Action Hero Universe.
All right. All right. Hey, man, that sounds amazing. Very exciting, man. And you said it's acronym KAHU, right?
KAHU.
KAHU. We don't
KAHU.
want it mixed up with the character from PBS.
Is there a character from PBS called KAHU?
It was Caillou.
KAHU. Well, man.
That just keeps you playing in my mind. So Caillou.
Well,
Okay.
you know what's funny, because um, I went to a business seminar actually with Damon John from Shark Tank had these business seminars,
Okay.
and his folks actually told me to expand it, because
Yeah.
when we first came out the box, it was KAHU. And people are like, what does that mean? And in my mind, it's like it's like Yoo-hoo, it's like FUBU. Until somebody tell you what they mean, you don't know what that stuff means. It's an easy ring. But
Yeah.
they said, well, just tell people what it is. So we were doing Christian Action Heroes. Great. Christian Action Hero Universe. Love it. Something about that KAHU. So, in the branding, that's the big word we're using. People trying to figure out their identities and reach their
Yeah.
audiences. We just do both. It's just an acronym. I mean, because check it out. JLA is the Justice League of America, or they still rock.
Yeah.
They still rock both. They don't forsake
Mhm.
one for the other. So, but it's been fun. The KAHU thing. It just has its own identity.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool, man. But hey, Clint Johnson, man, it was great talking to you. It was great having you on this show. Like I said, I told Brian before, like what he's doing is really amazing, man. Yeah. And also, like, if you want to check out the Anointed 7 issue 35, check out the link below of this video. Okay. Check it out. It'll be right there. Just click on it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And is there anything else you want to say, Clint, about KAHU, man, where we can find, your work and everything?
Sure. So if people want to know more about KAHU, Christian Action Heroes, Faith Walker, Lady Virtuous, the whole crew, the website is christianactionheroes.com. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Christian Action Heroes. So those are the platforms I frequent mostly. There are others, but I'm a retool and I get back to everybody. If you just want to see my artwork in general, it's clintdjohnson.com. And also you can catch me at Clint D. Johnson Creative on Instagram. Yeah, and I think that's about it. If you want to send samples of your work, make it easy. Info at christianactionheroes.com. All right, there it is.
Awesome. All right, Clint, man, it was great talking to you, man. You stay warm. I'm gonna keep staying cold over here.
All right, Rashad. Hey, man, God bless you, man. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Likewise, and remember, man, the kingdom is here. The kingdom is here.
That's right.
All right.
It's here. Take care, brother.
Take it easy. Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.